Hey, it's Armina, your favorite curvy sewist, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome in. It's a pleasure to have you. So today, I have a gem for you, a real sewing gem. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever struggled with getting your seams really flat, really pressed, crisp, pristine, sharp pressed seams when you go make your garments? Well, I got something for you, and it's going to be your new best friend. But before we go any further, you know what time it is. It's time for you to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Now, let's get down to the details, and let me introduce you to your new best friend. Here we go. And I almost forgot to mention, don't forget to grab the free PDF from the description. So I bet you want to know who this best friend is, right? So your new best friend that I want to introduce you to is none other than a tailor's clapper. What is a tailor's clapper, you ask? I made notes, and let me share them with you. So a tailor's clapper is a simple block of hardwood, usually made from oak or maple, used to trap heat and steam into your fabric after pressing. It helps flatten your seams, hems, darts, and whatever you want it to do. You name it. If it's something you want to get flat with your sewing in your garments, I've used it in shoulder seams. I've used it in seams of jackets. I use it in seams of skirts. I even used it with my bags. I use my clapper. I think anything that you have to join two pieces of fabric together, and if it ain't flat enough for me, I use my clapper. So that's basically what a tailor's clapper is. Now I'm going to tell you how I got introduced to the tailor's clapper. Of course, I'm part of different sewing communities, one being the Black Sewing Network. Once I got into the Black Sewing Network, I started following a lot of different people on that platform, and in that part of that community on the platform of TikTok, who was, doing a lot of lives and tutorials about sewing and just how to be more professional with your sewing skills. And it was someone on one of the channels, I think on Instagram, her name is Anise 2001. I'm not sure what her name is on YouTube, but I will be sure to tag her down in the comments below so you can check out and follow her YouTube. Because when I tell you, this sewist has a wealth of knowledge. We call her affectionately Auntie Carol in the sewing community, and that's because she's like the big auntie, the sweet auntie. She has such a wealth of knowledge till it's unbelievable. And she started talking about this clapper. I was like, what? A piece of wood? I was like, and I was like, yeah, okay, you know how some people do stuff, and like, what is she talking about? But baby, when I say, the first time I said, okay, let me buy one, and I bought me one. I bought me a little small one, dipping and dabbling, see if I'm gonna like it. I'm not gonna invest no whole lot of energy in this. Let me just get this little wood. She keeps talking about how it works so good, make it seem so flat, it'll make a difference. So I got it. I bought me one off the team type, right? Cheap, inexpensive. And let me tell you, this one is cheap. It does the job. It's a little here and there. It gets the job done. So I bought it and I've been using it and it has been helpful. And when I tell you, it made a difference in my seams. I couldn't believe it. It was like things that I would normally press and I would want to get them flat. And in my mind, they were flat enough. They was already flat to me. But after using the clapper in comparisons, oh my goodness, it just makes a huge difference. And don't worry, we're going to get to that. I'm going to show you how my clapper works. We're going to demonstrate it on some fabric and we'll see how it goes. So right now I have this one. I've been using it for a while, but I decided to step up my game and I recently bought this one, and this one is even better. So just so you know, the clapper has a little bit of weight to it. And I'm going to demonstrate how you use it. But this one has a nice weight to it. And I got this one from LWS Trims. I will definitely leave a link below because this one is nice, but this one is exquisite. Good quality wood. It's smooth in texture. It's heavier in weight, so you're definitely going to get a heavy weight on your seams when you're pressing your seams. She has one that's a little narrow, more narrow than this one. I'll probably get that one too. But yes, quality. If you're looking for a clapper, check out LWS Trims. I will definitely leave a link below so you can check her out. And I'm going to show you how this baby works. So, I mean, clapper is just something that was introduced to me, and it was a game changer for me. I mean, now when I do certain garments and I need to have a nice crisp seam, I use it. When I need to do darts and I want my darts to lay flat, I use it. Sometimes even when I'm interfacing a bag, I'll put it on top of that interfacer just to give it an extra seal. Like anything you want that heated, weighted press, this is your baby. I remember recently I made a coat with a very heavy fabric. I used a upholstery fabric, I believe, to make this coat. It's this one right here. And it is a Beauty J Adore coat, and Nomi, and I love it. And it was really hard to get the upholstery fabric to lay flat. And I wanted to take it to the cleaners. I'm not gonna lie. I got lazy. I didn't feel like taking it to the cleaners. But I wanted my coat done because I wanted to rock it a little bit. I wanted to take pictures. I had some place I was going. I made a fanny to match it. So I wanted to wear it out in them streets. So I pressed it myself and I'm like, oh, seams just wasn't getting as flat as I wanted them to. But I used the clapper on the seams. And it just was like, it just made a huge difference. Huge, huge, huge difference. So we're going to get into some more details about the clapper. What it does, different things like that, and see how we use it. So I'm going to take you over to my sewing station and show you a little bit how my sewing station is set up, because I do have a sewing station where I do my larger scale pressing with my bigger iron. I have a Black & Decker professional precision iron, and then when I want to do jobs close by and nearby, I use my Oliso iron. This is a small iron, but she is mighty on point with the heat and the steam. So I usually keep her close by my sewing machine. But let's get some fabric. Let's get these irons put on, and let's see how these babies work. Let's put these babies to the test and see what they actually do. So I'm going to set up and we're going to show you what they do. Let's go. So here is my sewing station, just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. I got this table from Amazon. It's basically a table that's like, it's like a table that you would use stools with. But I got it because I figured when I sew, I want to be able to stand and I want to have to keep opening up an ironing board. Although I have a traditional ironing board, this is more convenient, especially like when you're in the middle of a sew and you're doing something, you just want to run over and you want to press your seams. This is already set up and I keep it like this and it's always ready to go. And it has a pad on it. I got this pad from Amazon. It's an ironing pad that I just basically put over the table. And then I have my 2 irons over here. Here is my Oliso iron. And this is my Shark Precision Professional iron. We have the clapper. We have some fabric that we're going to use to see what it looks like before we use the clapper and what it looks like after. And I just poured some water over so I could get these irons steaming hot and ready to go. So let's get started. Let's press some fabric and see what this clapper can really do. Okay guys, so now you want to know, how do you use a clapper? So the way that you use a clapper is you get your fabric. I have a piece of fabric here that I happen to put a seam down, and we're going to just play around with it. So how you use your clapper is you lay your fabric flat, you bring your iron to your fabric, and you want to lock heat into your fabric. So you want to press your fabric out. Make sure you get the steam in that fabric. And as you can see, we press that flat. And we still have a little bit of a puffiness to the fabric. If you can see, it's still a little puffy, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to apply our clapper. Hopefully the heat is still locked in. And we're going to just hold it for a few minutes on our warm piece of fabric. And hold it in place. and let the heat lock into the piece of fabric. Some people leave the piece of wood on the fabric. They may walk away for a few minutes, come back. Some people feel better with pressing it. I really don't even think you have to press it. I feel like the heavy weight of the wood is weighted enough, but sometimes I give it a little press. And then when you lift it up, look at this. Oh my God. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. You see what I'm saying? That is the difference between something just pressed and pressed with the clapper afterwards. Now, this is something that when I was doing stuff, I never noticed that my seams was not this crisp until I got a clapper. I just thought I was doing my pressing job like it should be done. But after I got this, do you see that? Do you see how sharp that seam, that press is now? That's the clapper. Now we're going to open up this seam and we're going to put some more heat on it. If I do like this, let's see if I do it like this. I'm not even going to put no heat. Let's see what happens. I'm going to press it with my finger. Because they say sometimes the wood retains the heat. So I'm going to press it with my finger. And let's just put the clapper on it and see what happens. We ain't even going to put no heat. We ain't even going to hit it with no heat. Let's see what happens. We're going to put the clapper on it. Let's leave the clapper on it for a few minutes. Let's see what's going to happen. KKK. Okay, now let's lift it up. Look at that. It still has a bend in it. It still has a bend in it. Still bended it. Now let's apply the heat. This is how you do it. You put the heat into the fabric. The fabric is now warm. Now let's see what happens. Now we're going to put our clapper. Now we did it without the heat. We see what it did. It gave it a little bit of a bend. Now let's see what happens now that we lock that heat into the fabric. And let's see what it does now. We're going to leave it on here for a few moments. And now we're going to see what happens. It ain't popping up no more. You know why? Because now it has that nice, crisp, flat. You see that flat press. I just love what the clapper does. And it's so funny. You don't know until you know. This is beautiful to use when you're sewing garments. This is beautiful to use if you can use it on the fabrics that you're using to make handbags. As long as they can take the heat, it can work with the clapper. Also, it is wonderful for when you're making a quilt. I recently made my first quilt, and I was trying to get my squares really flat. When you know how you do the squares, and then you cut the squares in half, you make your half squares, and then you rejoin them. I wanted to get my seams really sharp, and when I did it with the clapper, it was like it was one piece again. It was just amazing. It was just, I'm trying to press it back. It don't even want to go back. It wants to stay pressed. You know, like, ugh. So that is the clapper and how it works on that. Let's try it on a piece of Ankara fabric and see what it looks like. Let's grab a piece of Ankara fabric and press it out and see how it goes. So I have a piece of Ankara fabric, nothing special. It's just a piece of Ankara fabric. It's like about folded twice. I'm going to fold it over again, so now we have it folded 4 times. And let's give it another bump. Let's just play around with the thickness of the fabric and see what we get, right? Okay, I'm going to take my iron and we're going to press. Lock it in. Okay. All right, that's pretty good. And as you can see, it's good. You know, we got that little bit of like, you can see a little puffiness still, which is fine. This is a good press still. That's still a nice good press. But let's see if we can get it any flatter with our clapper. Okay, same amount of heat. We didn't do any extra. And now we're going to press. We're just going to do this because, of course, you know, let's turn it this way so you can see. The clapper is only but so wide. So I'm going to do this side seam first, just so we can see what that's looking like. I'm going to press that down for a few minutes, let it hit the heat. And then I'm just going to warm up this side of the fabric again. And we're going to put our clapper on it. Get the heat on this side of it. Then we're going to just see how much flatter did we really get this fabric. Okay, got that. Now let's look at our fabric. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? Look at the difference of how, look at it. It's flat now. It's flat now. It is flat now. And that's what I'm talking about with the clapper. Like it just will give you that sharp, crisp press that you want in your fabrics. Now, we don't have a seam in this fabric, but I'm going to pretend that we put a seam down there and we're going to fold this just like this. Say you're making a skirt or a dress or something like that and you want to, you know, turn your hem up, right? Let me turn up the hem first. Let's pretend we're putting a hem in a skirt, right? And we want to press it up first, right? So we have a nice press. So we're going to press it once. Get it up there like that, right? Let's press it twice. And then we're going to put our seam in it. So let's hit this with some heat. Okay. Now, as you can see, we can see it. It's a little puffiness to it, and that's okay. You know, it's all right. Now, let's hit it with some heat. And now we're going to put our clapper on it. Give it a press. And let's see how crisp we can get that press now. And this is wonderful, like I said. Say you're doing a hem in the bottom of your skirt. You want to keep the hem in place. You want to make sure it's precise. You want to make sure it's even. You can go to your iron. You can press your hem. And then you can hit it with this clapper so that it's even flatter and stays in place even more precisely for you. So let's pick this up now and look at that. Look at that, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that sharp. See that sharp press? See that sharpness in the crease? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, I have a piece of denim that I took to my machine and I actually put a seam in it. As you can see, I did a stitch right here and I put a seam down the fabric. So what we're going to do is, the first thing you want to do to prepare your fabric for the clapper is you get your iron and you press. So you want to get your iron, get some steam, make sure you got the steam in it, and you press it. Press your fabric. That aliso is powerful, baby. Okay, so we pressed our fabric. And we got a pretty good press. It's pressed. It's neat. It's looking pretty good. Now, let's see about pressing this seam open. So now we're going to use our iron and we're going to press. Give it a press. Okay. Now you can see it has a nice press in it. A little bit of a bump. Now what you want to do if you want to use your clapper on this is you want to, because you know, let's see if we can get a little more, right? Look at it. We can see the bump. It's okay. It's a good steam because the aliso is a powerful iron. So now we're going to put some heat because for the clapper to work, you have to have heat in your fabric. So let's heat up our fabric. And then what you want to do with your clapper is you place it over your seam and you can press. Some people just press it on and they just leave it. They walk away for a few minutes, come back, and they just leave the weight of the wood on the fabric on top of the seam. This way you're locking the heat into the fabric below and it's getting locked into this piece of wood. And due to the fact this wood has a nice weight to it, it's going to have a nice press to the seam. So let's hold it down for a few minutes. We'll just leave it. And now we're going to pick it up. And now if you can just see how sharp that is. You can't even really see the crease now. Before you can see the crease. But now it's laying so flat. Let me see so I can show you the crease. Now there's the crease. But it's laying so flat now can't even really see the crease. That's how flat it is. And if you look on this side, remember we had pressed this before and it was flat, but look at that. Look at how crisp, how clean that got. You see how flat that got? That's what the clapper will do. Let's do the other side just to see what else what we're talking about, and just give it a press with just this. I'm going to press it open. There you go. And now we're going to look. And if you see, you can see the difference. It's like this one is just so precise. And this one is good. It's just it still has a little bit of bubble to it. It still has a little bit of puff to it. And when you roll it over and we look at our seam, you can really see the difference. See how over here with the one that we did with the clapper, you could barely even see that you did a press. You have to kind of like, okay, is there a press? And then when you go to the one over here, you just see how it's raised more. That's just because it isn't pressed as flat. So let's press this flat and see if it looks like the other side. We're going to apply our capper to it. And the thing that's so wonderful about the clapper is you don't even have to do this for a long time. You ain't got to stand here forever. So that's why it's so wonderful to have this by your side while you're creating garments, when you're putting some inset sleeves in. Afterwards, when you see those things in your patterns, when they go to the iron and press that seam, open that seam, press that, press that. This is where the clapper comes in. And now when we open it up, look at that. Sharp, sharp. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, baby! It's just so nice and flat. I mean, I just love how things look after I use it. It's just beautiful. Let's do this side too now, so that this one can match that side. And it's so funny, like I wish you was here with me in person so you could really see how much this one is raised more than that side. We're going to press. And then we're going to raise. Now we got two sides that's just pressed so flat. It's just a beautiful, like once you press it, you can see just how flat it is. Isn't it nice? I love the way the clapper just makes it look so clean and pristine. Oh my gosh. Let's try with a piece of knit fabric. So I have this knit fabric here. Let's press this out and see what it does. Okay, let's give it a press. Still got a little bit of bumps in it. It's all right. We're going to get it sharp with our clapper. So see, we pressed it. It's flat, right? You can still see that it's a little bit of puffiness to the seam, right? It's still a little bit of puffiness to the seam. Now let's hit it with our clapper. Okay. Okay, let's put our clapper on it. Put it right on the edge of that seam and press down. I'll let it sit for a second or two. I just love this thing. I think everybody should have one of these. If you're a sewist, whenever you're attaching two pieces of fabric, vinyl, whatever can take heat together, you need one of these. Okay, and I'm just going to do this side too because I want to see how flat we get the whole piece. So now we're going to do the opposite side. And we're going to put our clapper on this side because we just was focusing on the pressing this before. Now I want to focus on pressing this. Then we're going to put it here to get this flat. Because that, remember at the beginning of the head of the fabric has a little ruffle on it. It looks something like this. And we're going to see how flat we can get that. And now we're going to pick it up. And if you look at it, look how it has that nice crease. When you open it, look at that crease. Okay guys, this is a piece of scuba knit that I've been working with recently. And I was pressing the seams out while I was making my garment. And let's just see how good of a press we can get in this fabric. I was doing my seams and different things like that. So let's just give this a hit. Few moments. Okay. And that's a nice press that we got. Still a little bit of puffiness to it. But that's basically it. Pretty good, right? Now let's do it with the clapper. 2 hits of blast, our clapper. I'm just gonna put our clapper on it and we're gonna hold it on here for a few seconds. Okay, now we're gonna take our clapper off. And you can already see, just the clapper sitting in place gave it a press, but look at it now. Look at the crease now. You see, you can really see the crease now with this black fabric. How sharp that crease is, how precise it is, how flat this is. It's beautiful when you work with a clapper. This is something that will elevate the professionalism and the finishes of your garments. Who thought a piece of wood could have this much power? Especially in the sewing world. Let's talk some more about the clapper. So now that I've showed you how to use a clapper and you see how much of a nice press you can get, a more professional look when you utilize the clapper, let's talk about why it's so important in garment construction and in the sewing world. I feel like it's important to have a clapper because you want to have garments that have a professional finished look. It's a huge game changer when you have that professional finished look to your garments. When you can see the press, when you can see the way the darts lay because they're pressed so nicely, when you see the way a welt pocket sits just in place because the welt pocket is pressed so nice and neatly, even when you make a crease in the front of a pant and you see that crease, it makes a huge difference. Those are the little things that make your garment look more tailored and more professional. This is going to make a difference when you're creating darts. It's going to make a difference just pressing out regular seams. It's going to make a difference when you're pressing a tricky hem. It's just going to make a difference whenever you're pressing. All those things that your pattern calls for you to press while you're going along the way of constructing your garment, applying your clapper to that pressing afterwards will make a huge difference in the final look of your garment once done. Now, let's talk a little bit about where do we get one of these from? Where can you find a nice clapper of good quality? Of course, you can buy one. Like I said, I got this one very inexpensive on Temu. It's a little like scratchy, so you know, sometimes it's not as nice of a feel when I hold it in my hands. Also, it's heavy. It's not the heaviest weight, but it does the job. I'm not going to downplay it because it was a good asset to me until I got my new clapper. But if you were looking for something that's a little more upscale and nicer quality, that's when you go to your more small business owners that have these handcrafted, really precisely finished. Like this one is so smooth and so precise. It's also heavier than that one as well. And the two things that's important with your clapper is the fact that the heat gets locked into it, but also the weight of the wood is also important as well, because you want something that you can put on the weight of the fabric to weigh it down, plus the heat. So you can check your Etsy's for some clappers that might be a little higher quality. Again, I got this clapper from LWS, and I will be sure to leave their info in the description. So just so you know, clappers come in different sizes and different weights. I have this clapper. This is my other one. Of course, you can see the difference in size, the difference in thickness, and there's definitely a difference in weight. So just keep that in mind when you're picking your clapper, um, and make sure you think about that before you purchase one. So after seeing me show you all these wonderful things about the clapper and your next new best friend, tell me, do you think you'll be adding one of these to your sewing room, your sewing space, your creating space? Or do you already have one and you're using it already? Please drop that down in the comments and let me know how you feel and what your thoughts are about a clapper. And if you want to get a clapper and you're new to clappers and you're not sure and you're still like a little like, how do you use it? What do I do? I have created a PDF that will be helpful to you to utilize if you buy a clapper to help you get started with applying it to your garment when you sew so that you can have nice, clean finishes when you create your garments. So, once again, guys, thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure to share with you whatever I can from my sewing world. And don't forget, please leave comments. I want to hear your thoughts about clappers. And please grab the PDF. I made it for you guys to have, to utilize, to help you have a better journey with getting started with using your clapper. So, that's it for me today, guys. And as usual, it's always a pleasure to reach out to you guys and connect. So the best way for us to continue to stay connected, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to like and share this. And please turn on your notifications so you don't miss any future videos. So until next time, guys, stay good, have a good day, and stay so happy. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.